That thing your spouse did 6 months ago, you remember it, and the thing before that, and the thing before that. And every new hurt that you feel gets added to that mental list. You feel all of it, all at once. Who's given more, who's sacrificed more, who's been hurt the most. And maybe some days you're winning, and some days you're losing. But either way, your marriage is losing. Let's talk about that. I get it. Scorekeeping feels completely justified. Of course, you're going to bring up the past because it's not resolved yet. Of course, you're going to remind your spouse of that time they hurt you. It still hurts. Of course, you're tracking whether or not things are fair. You're exhausted. But I've never seen scorekeeping actually help a marriage. Instead, what you're doing is you're building a wall between the two of you, brick by brick, until now you've got something that neither of you know how to climb over. Here's what scorekeeping actually does to your marriage. Every time you revisit an old wound in this new conversation, you are making a conscious choice to say that being right is more important than us being close. And your spouse feels that. Even if you're not saying it out loud, they know inside that, like, no matter what they do, it's never going to be enough. And they're thinking, this person who's supposed to be my safe place has become my judge and jury. When someone feels like they're always on trial, they shut down and they withdraw. So even if you started keeping score as a type of self-preservation, it's working against you. It's accelerating the very thing you're trying to keep from happening. But scorekeeping doesn't look the same in every marriage. For women, for us, a lot of times it's just a mental cataloging of everything that's ever happened that made us feel dismissed, unheard, unseen. Every time you asked for something and you got nothing back. It's that accumulation over years and years that leads to us wanting to pull away. A slow closing off of ourselves that we might not see as a mental scorecard. To us, it just feels like exhaustion, like giving up. For men, it's completely different. It's not a list of your faults as a woman. It's a list of his own faults. All the times he's disappointed you and let you down and made you cry. And he begins to experience a sense of futility. I can't do anything right. No matter what I do, it's never good enough. So why am I even trying? Eventually, the scorecard is so stacked against him that he's like, why am I even bothering to try to keep up with this? So he checks out. He spends more time at work. He goes quiet. And yeah, you experience that as abandonment. So you pull away even more. And that goes straight onto your mental checklist. 2 different scoreboards, same damage. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter, that love keeps no record of wrongs. Okay, easy to say, really hard to live by. Keeping no record of wrongs doesn't mean that you're pretending that it didn't happen or that it's just going to go away without dealing with it. It's not about stuffing your feelings down. What it means is that love is making a daily decision to not use the past against each other in the present. And that's not a feeling, that's a choice. Probably one of the hardest choices you'll ever make in your marriage. Let's make this real. James and Nicole have been married 22 years. No major crises, no addictions, no infidelity, just 22 years of small hurts that have built up between them. James doesn't know what Nicole wants from him anymore. He feels like he's still paying for things that he did years ago. He'll do everything right for a while, and then he makes one mistake and he's right back to square one. And Nicole, she's actually been writing down every little thing that James has done wrong over the years. She's got a written record that goes back 2-3 years. That doesn't make her a bad person. She just has been in so much pain. She needed a place to put all that. But now that list has become the lens through which she sees everything that James does. The list grows faster than anything he can do to make up for it. So everything he does right is still filtered through what he's done wrong. Is it any wonder that James feels like it's rigged against him? He can't win for losing. So He's stopped bringing his real self into this marriage. Why open up to Nicole when every vulnerability just becomes another entry on her list? And when I asked Nicole to think about the kind, thoughtful things that James does she allow herself to really feel them? Her response to me is, I don't think I actually trust when he does those things that it really means anything, because she's got that mental list of all the other times. So she's just waiting for him to screw up again. This is scorekeeping at its worst. It doesn't just track the past, it poisons the present. It makes it impossible to see the effort your spouse is making in positive ways because you're just bracing for the impact of what they're going to do wrong. James and Nicole do actually love each other, but they're living inside these mental ledgers that they're keeping about each other. And those ledgers are costing them their marriage. So how do you put the scorecard down? Because I know that's what you're asking. Well, you can't just simply forget the past. It doesn't work that way, especially if the hurts that you've been experiencing are real and repeated. So I'm not going to tell you to pretend that none of that happened. Instead, I want you to focus on one thing your spouse did today and let yourself really feel it. I don't care how small it is. Something he or she did today. And not let it be filtered through the list. No yeah buts. I know this may sound insultingly simple, like, really, Debbie? But you know what? For couples who are really locked in this scorekeeping mentality, this is kind of revolutionary. Your brain has been taught to scan for threats and disappointments. You have to retrain your brain to look for what is kind and what is thoughtful without any ulterior motive attached to that. When you do that, it begins to slowly shift the way you feel about your spouse from day to day. The second thing I want you to do is when an old wound opens back up again, I want you to ask yourself, am I bringing this up to win, mental scorecard, or to heal the past? There's a difference in bringing something up because you want to repair and be able to truly put something behind you versus I want to score a point against you by reminding you of what you did. If the hurt is real and unresolved, yeah, it needs a conversation at the right time and in the right spirit, not as ammunition, but as a genuine request to be heard and to heal. Third thing, I want you to make a daily decision to close that mental ledger. Not permanently, not all at once, just today. Tomorrow takes care of itself. This is actually what 1 Corinthians 13 is telling us. It's not a one-time act of forgiveness, but a daily choice of not keeping score. And some days that's going to feel impossible, but do it anyway. Say it out loud if that's what you need to do. Today, I'm choosing to not hold this against you. That's actually one of the most spiritually and emotionally mature things you can do in your marriage. It's not a weakness. It's a strength. If your scorecard against your spouse is so full that you don't even know where to start, you don't have to figure this out alone. That's what my Marriage in Bloom 6-month intensive is all about. It's for couples who have so many years of accumulated hurts, they don't know how to see past that. It's a structured, faith-based process that gives attention to both you as an individual and you as a couple, and a safe place to be honest about what's on that mental list. All you have to do is schedule your free private marriage assessment with me, and the link is in the description below. And in the meantime, I've got something I really want you to watch next. Because underneath all this scorekeeping is a blame cycle that has started and been going on possibly for years in your marriage that we've got to pay attention to and change. The link for that is also in the description below. I'll see you there.